Protect your plans in silence. Organize your life away from prying eyes. I'm going to show you 6 lessons that truly work to help you stop talking and start acting. In life, the less you expose your plans, the more doors you open and the more achievements you unlock. Stoic philosophy already taught this. Great victories are built in silence, far from the spotlight, far from opinions, and above all, far from envious eyes. Today, I want to reveal how to organize your life, bring order to your goals, and fortify your mind using principles that have endured for centuries. If you're tired of feeling lost, of starting and stopping, of having the sense that life is slipping out of your control, this is the moment to turn the tables. But understand this: keep your battles to yourself, because those who talk too much weaken their own steps. I only ask you 2 things. Leave a like and subscribe. And let's go straight to the first lesson. Lesson 1, work on your goals in silence. Imagine you are building a house. Before the first wall is even standing, you invite everyone to visit the site. They look around, criticize, give opinions, and suddenly what was your project starts being shaped by other people's views. That is exactly what happens when you talk too much about your goals before they are complete. In Stoicism, there is a simple principle. Virtue lies in action, not in display. Seneca said, "We do not speak to show that we know, but to show that we act." In other words, your energy should be directed toward building, not convincing. When you announce a goal, your brain releases dopamine, the same pleasure hormone. This creates a false sense of progress, as if you had already achieved something just by talking about it. It's like posting a photo at the gym and then going home without training. The applause comes before the result, and with it, motivation fades away. Working in silence does not mean living isolated or distrusting everyone. It means protecting the most fragile phase of your plan. It's like a seed. It needs to stay underground, protected, before it can endure the sun and the rain. If you expose it too early, you risk never seeing any fruit. Want a practical example? Think about high-performance athletes. Many of them only speak publicly about their goals after they are already training intensely with discipline and internal results. Until then, they keep it to themselves, because they understand that preparation requires more silence than speeches. Silence is also a test of self-control. Ask yourself, do I want to speak to be admired, or do I want to act to feel fulfilled? A Stoic would choose the second option without hesitation. And here's some straightforward advice. Over the next few weeks, choose one goal and commit to not telling anyone about it. Work alone, step by step. When the time comes, let your achievements speak for themselves. You will feel the power that comes from keeping to yourself what is still being born. Because in the end, the truth is this: noise attracts curiosity, but silence attracts results. With that in mind, write in the comments, "My silence is my strategy." From this moment on, you build and achieve in silence. Lesson 2. Avoid sharing before you finish. Have you noticed how people often seem more interested in your plans than in your results? It's curious. All you have to say is, "I'm starting a new project," and immediately you're met with a flood of opinions, some well-intentioned, others filled with envy or disbelief. Without realizing it, you begin shaping your actions to please or respond to those comments. That's dangerous. Stoicism teaches us something fundamental. As Epictetus said, focus on what is within your control and ignore what is not. When you share your goals before completing them, you hand over part of your energy and control to others. You open the door to external doubts, criticism, and comparisons that add no real value. There is also a psychological phenomenon known as the anticipation reward effect. When we talk about a goal, the brain interprets it as progress already made and releases dopamine, creating a false sense of achievement. It's like announcing you're going to run a marathon and feeling victorious just for saying it, while in reality, you haven't taken a single step. Then there's the danger of dispersion. Sharing too early fragments your focus. When you hear too many opinions, you start changing your plan before you've even tested it. It's like trying to build a bridge while swapping materials with every suggestion you hear. The result? Nothing holds together. The Stoics understood that concentration is the foundation of action. Marcus Aurelius, both emperor and philosopher, had access to countless voices and advisors, yet in his private writings, he emphasized, "The opinions of others should not steal your peace." He understood that clarity comes from quiet practice, not public approval. Now let's talk about envy in the real world. Let's be honest, not everyone wants to see you succeed. Sometimes even people close to you, out of insecurity or competition, may subtly discourage or diminish your ideas. A comment like, "That's too hard," or "I don't think that will work," may seem harmless, but it's like a drop of dark ink falling into a glass of clean water. Slowly, it clouds your vision. And the worst part is that it's not always driven by conscious malice. Often it's a reflection of their own limitations. What they don't believe is possible for themselves, they project as impossible for you. And if you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering how to apply strategic silence and bring order to your life. Here is a practical step-by-step approach. Set an incubation period for your goals. During this time, do not talk about them with anyone, not even with people you trust. Wait until you are certain that you have already taken concrete steps forward. Create small internal milestones and celebrate each advance on your own. This strengthens your self-confidence and reduces the need for external validation. Track your progress in writing, not on social media. A notebook is more powerful than 1,000 likes when it comes to focus. When you do need to share, choose people who truly understand what you are doing and who can contribute in a constructive way. Even then, share only what is necessary. Now listen carefully and let this sink in. A sculptor does not display the raw stone. He spends days shaping it in the silence of the studio. Only when the work is ready does he reveal it to the world. Let your plans be the same, invisible during the process, unforgettable in the result. Keeping your plans private also creates a powerful effect on your mind. You begin to work for purpose, not for applause. And that strengthens discipline, because you no longer depend on external motivation, only on your own decision. Seneca wrote, "Make haste slowly," meaning move forward with firmness, but without the anxiety of showing progress at every moment. In silence, you build. In completion, you inspire. In the end, this is not only about avoiding criticism or envy, but about preserving the inner fuel that will carry you to the finish line. Because remember this, those who talk too much about what they are going to do often run out of energy to actually do it. Lesson 3. Have a clear written plan. Most people do not fail because they lack ability, but because they lack direction. It's like a ship leaving the harbor without a map. It may sail for a while, but it will depend on luck to reach any destination, and most of the time it will get lost along the way. Stoic philosophy reminds us that living without a plan is living at the mercy of chance, and chance is rarely generous to those who are unprepared. Marcus Aurelius, even surrounded by the chaos of the Roman Empire, began his days by writing in his journal what he needed to remember and what he intended to accomplish. He did not allow the world to decide for him. Having a written plan is not just about organization, it is an act of leadership over your own life. It is a declaration. I know where I'm going. When a goal exists only in your mind, it is fragile. It is easy to change it, forget it, or deceive yourself about what you truly wanted. On paper, things take shape, A written goal becomes solid, tangible, almost like a contract you sign with yourself. Each word becomes a brick, slowly building the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. But it's not enough to write just anything. A clear plan must answer three fundamental questions. What do I want? Why do I want it? And how will I get there? The first sets direction, the second fuels motivation, and the third creates the route. Without these three answers, you don't have a plan. You have a wish, and a wish alone builds nothing. Here's a practical example. If your goal is to start a business, don't just write, "I want to open my own company." Be specific. What type of business? In what time frame? How much investment is required? What concrete first steps will you take? What isn't specific doesn't become real. Stoicism also teaches us that a plan must be adaptable. Life is not a straight road. It's full of curves, obstacles, and changing conditions. This means that while the final destination may remain the same, the route will need adjustments. That's why, when writing your plan, you should include moments to review it, maybe monthly, maybe quarterly, depending on the nature of your goal. This review keeps you on track without clinging blindly to a method that no longer works. Another essential point, the plan must be simple. Many people create strategies so complex that they become a burden. The Stoic seeks clarity, and clarity is born from simplicity. A good plan fits on a single page. It's not about having 50 daily tasks, but about having a few and executing them with excellence. Imagine your life as a river. If you let the water flow without direction, it spreads out and loses strength. But when you build a defined channel, the current becomes powerful enough to move mills and generate energy. The plan is that channel. It directs the flow of your energy so it can produce results. Many people avoid writing down their goals because deep down they are afraid to commit. While a dream lives only in the mind, it feels comfortable and perfect. On paper, it becomes real. And with reality comes responsibility. But it is precisely this commitment that separates those who talk from those who act. So don't let your goals remain in the abstract world of intentions. Take a notebook, a sheet of paper, or even the Notes app on your phone, and put everything in writing. Your goal, your reason, your first steps, and the deadline you are giving yourself. Read it every day to keep the path clear, because in the end, a goal without a plan is just a good idea, and good ideas do not change lives. Well-directed actions do. Yes, write this in the comments to lock it into your mind. Today, I focus only on my priorities. Lesson 4. Define priorities and cut the rest. Life offers so many possibilities that if we're not careful, we end up saying yes to everything, and in the end, we do nothing well. It's like standing in front of a massive banquet. You try to put a little of every dish on your plate, but you end up unable to truly enjoy any of them. When we say yes to everything, we are actually saying no to what truly matters. Stoicism is direct on this point. Seneca said that it is not that we have too little time, but that we waste much of it. The problem is rarely a lack of hours in the day. It is a lack of priorities. Many people stay busy all the time, yet build nothing meaningful. That happens because they confuse being busy with being productive. Imagine a ship loaded to its limit. No matter how powerful the engine is, it will move slowly, unsteadily, and risks sinking. That is exactly what happens when we try to carry every task, project, and commitment at once. We think we are moving forward, but in reality, we are dragging dead weight that drains our energy. The Stoic philosopher Chrysippus of Soli spoke about living with clarity of intention, which means consciously choosing where to place our time and energy, and ruthlessly cutting everything that does not serve our purpose. The modern world makes this even harder because it constantly pushes false urgencies on us, notifications, messages, last-minute demands. All of these give us a misleading sense of progress, but in truth, they bring us no closer to anything that matters. For a Stoic, this is the real prison, being a slave to other people's urgencies instead of the commander of your own destiny. The first step to change this is to bring everything into the open. Take a sheet of paper and write down absolutely everything occupying your mind: projects, obligations, ideas, commitments. Then ask the question that separates the essential from the unnecessary. If I could only choose 3 things to focus on this month, what would they be? This simple question forces you to confront what truly has value. Anything that does not make that list is either eliminated, delegated, or postponed. From there, protect your time as if it were gold. Block out specific hours to work on your priorities and treat those blocks as non-negotiable commitments. Review this every week, because what is a priority today may not be tomorrow. Life changes and our focus must change with it. To visualize this, imagine your attention as the beam of a flashlight. When the beam is wide, it lights everything weakly, without clarity. But when it is concentrated on a single point, the light becomes intense, capable of cutting through darkness. Focus works the same way. It is powerful when it is narrow. Marcus Aurelius understood this, even while governing an empire. He began his days by writing in his journal what the most important matters were and leaving everything else for later. He knew that if he tried to solve all of Rome's problems at once, chaos would swallow him. It was this discipline that kept him productive and mentally clear, even in the face of the most severe crises. But cutting excess is not just a technique. It is also an act of courage. It means letting go. Sometimes it means abandoning a project you have already invested time and energy in simply because it no longer serves your purpose. It means saying no to tempting opportunities so that you can say yes to what will truly transform your life. Stoicism calls this ataraxia, the peace of mind that arises when we focus only on what is within our control and let the rest go. The risk of not doing this is waking up 10 years from now with that bitter feeling of having worked a lot but built very little, of running from one problem to another, putting out fires, yet never lighting your own flame. That is why defining priorities and cutting the rest is not coldness. It is self-respect. It is understanding that you can do anything, but you cannot do everything. It is consciously choosing which seeds you will water and which ones you will allow to dry. In the end, this choice will determine not only your success, but also your peace. Lesson 5. Create routines to maintain order. Have you noticed how life quietly slips into chaos when we don't have a routine? Days become disorganized, tasks pile up, and before we realize it, we're chasing time, like someone trying to hold water in their hands. Stoicism teaches us that true freedom does not exist without discipline. It may sound contradictory, but it's simple. Discipline is what frees us from the tyranny of improvisation. Marcus Aurelius had strict daily habits. He knew that without structure, the demands of the world would swallow him. For him, every morning began with written reflections, not because he had extra time, but because it was necessary to keep his mind clear. Routine is not a prison. It is protection. Think of a house. Without walls, it cannot stand. Without a roof, it cannot shelter. Routine is made of those invisible walls that support your life and protect it from chaos. Without it, you spend your days reacting to problems. With it, you act before they appear. The problem is that many people associate routine with monotony. But the truth is that a well-built routine does not trap you. It creates space for what truly matters. When you organize your actions, you gain time to experience life more fully, without the constant anxiety of always being behind. Creating a Stoic routine means prioritizing what strengthens body, mind, and spirit. It means waking up knowing which actions are non-negotiable in your day. the ones that, if completed, already make you feel like you've moved forward. This may include time for study, physical exercise, reviewing goals, planning the day, and even necessary rest. And here is a crucial point. Your routine must be aligned with your objective. There is no point in copying the schedule of a famous CEO or an athlete if it doesn't make sense for your life. The best routine is the one you can sustain for years, not for days. To build that, start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Choose 2 or 3 essential habits and place them in your day as absolute priorities. When they become automatic, add more. A good example is the anchor method, linking a new habit to something you already do. For instance, if you want to meditate, you can decide to do it right after breakfast. That way, an old habit becomes the trigger for a new one, and your routine grows naturally. Stoicism also reminds us that a routine should include moments of reflection. At the end of the day, Marcus Aurelius would mentally review his actions, evaluating where he acted with virtue and where he could improve. This creates a cycle of constant growth because each day you return to the arena of life more aware. Another benefit is that routine reduces the burden on willpower. When something becomes part of your daily life, you no longer have to decide whether to do it or not. You simply do it. It's like brushing your teeth. It's not a daily negotiation, it's an automatic act. And the more important things you turn into habits, the more energy you have left for decisions that truly matter. It's also important not to fall into perfectionism. Routine is not about following a schedule perfectly every single day without fail. It's about having a steady direction, even when the day slips out of control. If you miss a habit one day, return to it the next. A mistake doesn't break the routine. Abandonment does. Imagine a tree. Year after year, it stays rooted in the same place, with its roots firm in the ground. But the seasons change. Leaves fall, rain comes and goes, the wind shifts direction. The tree adapts, yet it never stops growing upward. Your discipline should be the same, firm in principle, flexible in circumstance. Here's a practical challenge. Choose 3 daily actions that will form the core of your routine. It could be waking up early, studying for 30 minutes, exercising, writing your goals, or meditating. Place these actions as your highest priority before anything else, and protect that time as if it were an appointment with someone important. Because it is an appointment with the most important person, yourself. In the end, creating a routine means creating a life that does not depend on mood, motivation, or chance. It means building a solid foundation that the chaos of the world can strike without knocking down. It's waking up every day with the calm certainty that you are moving in the right direction, one step at a time. Lesson 6. Review and adjust without telling anyone. Reviewing and adjusting is like revisiting your class notes. You may have studied hard, but if you don't return to the material, correct mistakes, and update what you've learned, the knowledge weakens. And the same happens with your goals. The world changes, your life changes, and even you change. That demands constant adaptation. But here is the central point of this lesson. These reviews and adjustments should happen in silence. Just because you are replanning does not mean you need to announce to others what is changing. And before anyone misunderstands, let's make something clear. I am not telling you to disappear, live alone in a cabin in the mountains, and stop talking to everyone. This is not about becoming a hermit or cutting off relationships. What I'm saying is that not every move you make needs to be seen. The secret is not vanishing, but acting first and speaking later, and often not speaking at all. What happens is that many people feel the need to justify every step they take. They start a project, change their strategy, and rush to explain to friends, colleagues, or even on social media why they made that change. This not only drains energy, but also opens the door to unnecessary opinions, criticism, and in some cases, people with bad intentions. The truth is that there are people who don't want to see you grow, and sometimes they are not who you would expect. When you share that you are adjusting something, even if it's just a detail, you provide fuel for speculation. And that can shake your confidence, not because others have power over you, but because we are human. Malicious or pessimistic comments plant seeds that, if not removed, grow inside the mind. Stoicism reminds us that we must live according to our own reason, not according to the expectations of others. Epictetus said, "If you want to be invincible, do not engage with things that are not under your control." And other people's opinions about your adjustments are clearly outside your control. Silent revision has another benefit. It keeps your energy directed toward action, not defense. When you don't have to spend time explaining what you're changing, you can focus fully on implementing those changes. In the end, it is the results that will prove whether you were right, not your explanations. So how do you do this in practice? First, define specific moments to review your goals. It could be once a month or once every quarter. During that review, analyze what worked, what didn't, what can be improved, and what needs to be eliminated. Adjust the route based on those answers. Then keep this process to yourself. You don't need to announce that you are changing strategies or rethinking a project. Keep working as usual, and when the results arrive, they will speak for you. It's like a chess master. He doesn't announce which pieces he's going to move. He simply makes the move. And if he chooses to explain, he does so after the outcome is solid, not during the testing phase. Because during the testing phase, everything is fragile. A single negative comment can make you abandon a good idea before it ever has the chance to bear fruit. Another important point is understanding that not everyone deserves access to the backstage of your life. Many people carry envy, frustration, or competitiveness disguised as interest. Sometimes the simple fact that they know you are moving forward is enough for them to try to place obstacles in your path, even if subtly. This is not paranoia, it's reality. Anyone who has exposed a plan too early knows exactly what I'm talking about. Protecting your adjustments is like protecting a young plant. You can show the garden later, but in the beginning, the roots need to strengthen away from curious eyes. And here is the greatest advantage of strategic silence. It keeps you free. Free to change your mind without having to justify yourself. Free to make mistakes and correct them without drama. And free to move at your own pace without the pressure of being watched. So practice this discipline. Review, adjust, execute, and speak only when it is truly necessary. The world does not need to know every step you take. Sometimes your silence is the shield that ensures your results arrive intact at their destination. Because in the end, as the Stoics taught, the one who advances without noise arrives first. Throughout this video, you've seen that working in silence, avoiding speaking too soon, cutting what doesn't matter, writing your plan, maintaining routines, and reviewing without telling anyone are not just strategies, they are life choices. Small disciplines that turn chaos into direction, anxiety into clarity, and noise into results. Dreams are like seeds, fragile at first, yet capable of becoming massive trees. But for that to happen, they must be protected from wind, storms, and even from hands that seem friendly but, intentionally or not, may pull them out too soon. The truth is this: silence is not the absence of action. It is the concentration of energy. It is when no one is watching that you build your character, sharpen your skills, and become unshakable. When the time comes to show, you won't need to say anything, because what you've achieved will speak louder than words. So today, I want you to commit to this philosophy. Write in the comments, "My silence builds, my results speak." Let this sentence be your agreement with yourself, your daily reminder that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. And always remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, what does not contribute to your life does not deserve your attention. Protect your attention, protect your plans, and live in a way that one day when you look back, you feel proud not of what you said, but of what you built. And if this message resonated with you in any way, do 3 simple things right now. Subscribe to the channel to keep receiving content that strengthens your mind. Leave a like so more people can access this knowledge, and write a comment below. If you don't know what to say, simply type, "The Stoic is wise." On your screen now, I'm leaving 2 videos that can transform the way you think and possibly your life. Choose one and continue this journey. I'll see you there.